can this be? Sorry, you're wrong, for it's the speedway, the cinder track that was laid down in May 1929 when the new sport was then called dirt track racing. Alec Greening, designer of the engine used for the Wembley team, explains a point or two. Fixing the iron shoe that riders use on the bends. As you will see later from the actual speedway trials, one of the big tests of winning form is getting round the bends with the bikes tilted sharply at high speed. Then the shoe comes into action as a sort of combined brake and rudder. Note the clip that helps to keep the knee in position. And take a look at the complete rider in his heavy boots, stout leggings, gent's natty leather suit, crash helmet, and all the usual conveniences. Potential members of the Wembley team come out for an airing, and the practice, too. On the speedway that has seen such stars of the track as Jack Ormston, Buster Frogley, Colin Watson, Vic Huxley, Harry Whitfield, Lionel Van Praagh, Louis Wilkinson, and Jack Milton. With a roar, the quartet of riders streaks off for a fast lap of the track. And at the bends, you'll see how that iron shoe comes into action. A comparative newcomer to the side is Alf Bottoms, a poultry farmer from Hanworth, who is fast heading for stardom. On this occasion, Alf is heading for the cinders just to show us how it's done. It's a thrilling sport, this speedway racing, and it's regaining the popularity it had before the war when there were women riders, too. Meet Alec Jackson, speedway manager, with our friend who has just hit the dirt and looking no worse for it.
Shades of Ned Kelly, who's this? He's a speedway rider, one of a small group of men who thrill thousands in what is probably the most dangerous sport in the world. He's certainly dressed up for it, but it's all very necessary. The padded leather suit protects his body from a too-hurried contact with Mother Earth, sometimes under a couple of 100 pounds of motorcycle. The crash helmet acts as a kind of a buffer between the rider's head and the track in the event of a spill. Oddly enough, eye shield anti-gas make ideal speedway goggles. They're light and give a wide range of vision. Now what's he looking for? Oh, the metal ski. This fits onto the sole of his left boot, which spends more time on the track than on the machine, especially when broadsiding. The smooth metal surface enables the rider to slide his foot along the track, taking some of his weight off the machine. A handkerchief or scarf protects the face. Flying cinders from the track play havoc with the complexion. It sounds as if they're racing, so let's go out onto the track. They're off, neck and neck into the first bend. Here's something of the tournament spirit of the Middle Ages. Modern gladiators risking life and limb in the heat of combat, broadsiding round the bends at terrific speed, so close together that one mistake might prove fatal. Who are these men who seem to defy even the laws of gravity? Men like Dick Duggan, Australian champion, probably the world's finest rider. Wilbur Lamoureux, the mighty Atom from America. Jack Parker, captain of England and Bellevue, and his brother Norman, who also rides for England and is captain of Wimbledon. The ever-popular veteran Max Grosskreutz. Bob Lawson, the young and spectacular rider from Australia. And Lionel Van Praagh, the only world champion riding today. He's ridden in more than 5,000 races and is still at the top of his form. Coincidentally, Van supervised the production of this film. Now, let's look at the track first. It is less than 400 yards round and is covered with hundreds of tons of cinders or similar material to make a loose and shifting surface. This enables the riders to broadside round the bends at terrific speeds. The surface has to be constantly raked and leveled, for it certainly gets shifted around. And these are the machines that do the shifting. They only weigh about 200 pounds and are usually built to suit the particular style of each rider. The single-cylinder 3.5 horsepower engine develops over 40 horsepower on the track, and this needs expert tuning and the use of a special alcohol fuel called dope. And by the way, if you're thinking of getting one for your weekend outings, they only do 10 miles per gallon, about the same as a motor bus. And they have no brakes or gearbox. They're controlled by the throttle or accelerator and the clutch. But the clutch is used only for starting. They're off again. This time a match race between Oliver Hart of England and Max Grosskreutz of Australia. And what a race! No quarter asked or given. Both machines flat out, writhing and straining like mad things, controlled only by the superhuman efforts of the riders. First one, then the other in the lead. Men wrestling with tortured metal, getting every last ounce of power from the machine. They're only a few inches apart. If they touch, anything may happen. They're near the finish. Australia just a wheel in front. Can Oliver Hart snatch victory now? He's done it. No, it's a dead heat. No again. Oliver Hart won by inches. That certainly was a race, and a healthy outlet for the natural exuberance of thousands of spectators. Races are often won or lost at the starting gate. A quick getaway is essential. They line up at the start, their engines roaring, they're off. So for you, just an error of judgment, his wheel lifted too much. Now let's do that again and see if you can spot where he made his mistake. Did you spot it? All right, here's another start in slow motion. Watch how their front wheels just leave the ground a fraction of an inch when the weight is thrown back to give maximum driving power to the rear wheel. This needs very fine balance. The most important part of a speedway race is the battle for the first bend. Split-second timing, each rider watching the other and placing his machine exactly where he wants it, sometimes within an inch of the other fellow's wheel. I don't know why they don't end up in a heap. The secret is in the art of broadsiding or the controlled power slide, as demonstrated here by that spectacular rider, Orb Lawson. It's a combination of balance, steering, and throttle control. Let's stop them in this race so that you can see how the rider uses his left leg, on which the metal ski is fitted, as a third wheel on entering the bend. His weight is thrown forward to start the broadside. Once into the bend, he shifts his body back over the rear wheel to give maximum driving power and leans on his right footrest to keep his machine upright. Each rider has his own style, but the principle is always the same. A fall or overslide may cause a rider to crash in the path of an oncoming machine. This looks like certain death, but every rider knows the art of laying down his machine to avoid serious accident. Let's see how it's done. No trouble at all. Bill Rogers knows exactly how to do it. Like to see it again? All right, no trouble at all. You see, it is really a deliberate skid or overslide. But there's not much time to think about it. You see what I mean about that leather suit? That you still wouldn't get me in one of those things, even as a passenger. Did I say passenger? These are sidecar outfits designed and used exclusively on Australian speedways. Raked at an angle of 30 degrees, these machines actually topple over if unsupported. More powerful than the solo machines, they develop up to 80 horsepower on the track. They never use a saddle, as the rider is always changing his position on the machine. Is that a sidecar? Well, we live and learn. Sidecar racing is absolutely terrifying when you first see it. The Frankenstein appearance of the machines and riders as they hurtle around the track is a breathtaking spectacle. But you can't help admiring the keenness and courage of the passengers on whom so much depends. For surprisingly enough, there is method in their apparent madness. This is Jim Davies, Australian sidecar champion, and his passenger Peter Sperrin, showing how they work as a team when racing. Whoops! Yeah, that was our fault. Sorry, Jim. Let's try it again. The object of this is to show you how the balance of the machine is maintained when cornering at high speeds by the application of the passenger's weight. In the straight, the passenger keeps his weight in the sidecar, streamlining himself to lessen wind resistance. Turning a right-hand bend, the centrifugal force would turn the machine over if the passenger didn't add his weight to counteract it. He crouches in the sidecar down the straight. Round the bend again, Peter's face nearly touching the ground. It's a great life for the passenger. They're racing again. is a race between champions. Davies, Carruthers, and Breton have got away well. Carruthers takes the lead on the outside. Sidecars race clockwise, the opposite way to Solo Machine. Davies and Breton are with him on the bend. Look at young Peter Sperrin, Davies' passenger on the inside. Over he goes on the bend. Jim Davies just can't get through. Now he's trying on the outside. No, he's balked again. The champion doesn't always win at this game. It's a race between Carruthers and Breton now. Carruthers leading. Breton waiting his chance to come up on the inside. He's done it. But it's the public that makes the sport. Youngsters who in their imagination don the leathers and do battle with the best of them. Speedway fans who at every meeting cheer their favorites and feel personally every hazard and uncertainty the riders suffer.